Good evening, guys and dolls. To be fair, we can't leave you. We can't leave the prettier versions out. It's me, Mr. B. I'm Monday Juma, my right hand man or left hand man. I don't know how it works out on the screen. I don't know if it's anyway. Look, I'm Monday Juma. We've got Tom, journalist. We'll get a little introduction from you before we get things going. But guys, it's the agenda. We've got more transfer news to talk about. Let's get the show on the road. Monday, one more day until the best day of my week. How you doing, big man?
Yeah, I feel like you. I want the week ended. I'm really blessed, really, because I don't like working weekends. And a couple of years ago, they changed the whole contract at work, which meant I had to work one weekend a month. But luckily, there's a wonderful female at work who wants to work weekends, so she covers all my weekends. So I do enjoy my Fridays. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Friday. Like you, Mr. B. It's like, you know what's really I'm struggling with right now is I like the heat, but it's got to the point now I go to work and I'm sticky and hot by the time I'm coming home, and I'm just irritated, a little bit irritated because it's so hot and stuffy. And I just want my fan. I want, just be cool and relaxed. Anything energetic, I run up the stairs or do anything. It just, start blowing. So I need a preseason or something with this, the way I'm feeling this heat. I can't wait for my preseason to start so I can feel fit again. I'm feeling a bit sluggish, a bit like a pudding as bath time would say. But yeah, brilliant, man. Big up to Tom.
Tom, welcome to the madness, my friend. How you doing, man? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good, gents. How are we doing, guys? All good?
All good, as always, man. Always good. Always got something to talk about. We have as Man United fans, and I said, it just doesn't stop. Look, we spoke about Mount 2 days ago. Guess what? Guess what we're going to talk about today? Bloody Mason Mount again. God, I tell you. I mean, look, there's a third bid incoming. Let's not get it twisted. I think this needs to be done. There's a third bid incoming. I said already it's probably going to be 55 plus 5 in add-ons, and no Man United. It's going to be the 15 in add-ons, so Chelsea get exactly the money that they wanted instead of us just paying it in the first place, because that's what we do. That's what we do. But look, we're going to get our Mason Mount in. Tom, obviously I haven't spoken to you. What's your thinking on Mason Mount? What price do you feel that he really should be? And is he going to be somebody who's going to improve the team?
I think for me, in a normal scenario, like if they're on a long-term deal and you try and get a player like that, I think the sort of figure that's been bashed about right now, I think is reasonable, really. If you're getting a player who's got maybe years on the clock, and the club that you're trying to get them from aren't really under pressure to sell. But considering he's only got 1 year left in his contract and he's had months of trying to get a new deal with Chelsea, and it's not worked out for him really for whatever reason that is, for wages or wanting to move him on. But I think the sort of prices that Chelsea were wanting initially, upwards of 70 million, I think is ludicrous, really. Let's be honest. I don't really see a lot of clubs that would have paid 70 million for one player on the contract, let alone if it's Mason Mount. Reasonably, even with 1 year, I'd be struggling if Man United, if I was in control, to go above 50, really. And that's going out on an arm and a leg, really, I think, because I look at other clubs that were interested in him. Liverpool, Arsenal were, being around and about, and I don't think they would have paid upwards of that. And he made his mind up saying that he wants to come to Man United. I think that is a good message. I think if we do end up getting him, is that you have a player who wants to be at your club, and he's chosen to come to you over maybe clubs that are in a better position than you. For example, Arsenal with the season that they've just had. You can say maybe similar things around Liverpool trying to revamp their midfield and team. And for me, he wouldn't be my preferable choice, but I can understand maybe why Erik ten Hag would want him as a player. I think the energy, the pressing that he can give you, and there's two different really kinds of pressing. There's pressing at full pace and there's pressing with intent. And full pace is someone like Rashford, but he has the legs to get to a player, but There's no real intent behind it, and he barely probably blocks a passing angle off. Mason Mount, I think he gives you that dynamic, but he also gives us options in terms of he can play a couple of different positions if need be. And I think really when we look at the crisis that we had towards January, like where we needed midfielders, really, I think he would have probably come in clutch, really, if we needed a midfielder. But for me, he wouldn't be my ideal choice, but I can understand maybe why Erik ten Hag would want him in terms of the situation we're in with the takeover and a lot of the other major targets that other clubs are chasing. I just don't think we have the finances in place to go and get into a bidding war with clubs for players, really. Not at this point in time, anyway.
So, you know what question's coming now, don't you? Who's your ideal choice?
my ideal choice. If there was no constraints, I like Caicedo. I think we dropped the ball. I think we dropped the ball when we didn't sign him the first time as a youngster when we could have got him from Ecuador. And I think ever since then, I think we've burnt our fingers with too many players that we can sign for peanuts and we don't end up doing it. And I just think that the profile, I've seen Caicedo play right back against Arsenal and be brilliant for Brighton. I've seen him play defensive midfield, 8. You can play him anywhere, really. And if there's anybody who can step into the shoes of what N'Golo Kante has done for Chelsea, he is pretty much the mirror image of that player. Energetic, brilliant tackler of the ball. Positionally, I don't really think he puts a foot wrong. And for me, if you're paying upwards of £100 million for any player, that's who I would go for anyway.
On Monday, I saw you nodding your head with approval at some of those comments.
I was nodding at Tom, and I was also disagreeing and sighing at some points as well. But Tom, I've got enough respect for Tom. He knows what he's talking about. He made some really good, valid points about Mason Mount. One thing he did say about the wage as well. Mason Mount's on 100 grand at Chelsea. I'm really surprised by that. And that's probably why he's a bit frustrated. Like, what? Don't you value me no more? Lampard did, but I don't know about the others. But yeah, I think it's a lot of respect from management. I just want to go through a few comments because Eddie's staying here. Big up to everyone. He said he's not excited about Mount, to be honest. He said we needed dribbler or ball carriers. Now, I'm of the point, I like football, and I think the ball should do the work. That's the main thing. Let the ball do it. It's a team game. Let the ball do the work. We don't need the Nilsons and Garinchas, to dribble the ball and show their technique and show, do a little showboat when they're getting signed, that sort of thing. I want players that are effective. And I think with the Dutch system, with Ten Hag, I think ball carriers, I don't think that's necessary the case. I want players that you let the ball do the work, make things easy. I would just say as well, hi to Casper. Casper has been on a world tour. He's our favourite referee, favourite UK referee, mind you. He's been on a world tour. Every time I see him on social media, he was in Rotterdam the other day, he was in Poland the other day watching all these international football matches. The man is getting about. I don't know how he does it, but his passport must be full of stamps. So I want to say big up to Casper. Hopefully I'll see you in the Parish Sunday Challenge League. Big up to Big G as well. Bath Time saying, oh no, transfer show. He's getting fed up with that. And he's saying, big up to Tom. He drinks coffee at midnight like a gremlin. Tom, do you want to respond to that?
No, I know Vaughan from a couple of other channels.
He's infamous, isn't he? Bath Time. Mr. B's got his transfer goggles on. Says Bath Time with Vaughan. Stephanie's in the house as well. Stephanie, how you doing? Welcome back. She's here every day and we appreciate you. Saying big up to Tom, the Truth Journo, and us too as well. Stumpy Candletop, one of our favourites, is here as well. Juma at your athletics club, do you do anything on sprinting form? Yes, I can teach you a lot about sprinting form. I used to run like Carl Lewis. I remember watching 1984 Olympics, and yeah, I was just amazed by his form on his toes, running. But it's changed now. You're talking about sprinting, different types of running, but I can teach you how to run like a Kenyan long distance runner or a sprinter, a modern day sprinter with a good start, or Carl Lewis, which is a nice fluent style. I've got it all in my locker. So just hit me up if you want some skill training on that. King Gino saying we've had our pants pulled down, 60 million, unfavored player, 1 year left of his contract. RIP is an RIP off, rip off, sorry. Mount's got exceptional running form and piano legs. I really like the look of him in the centre. That's a good shout. Stephanie saying far too much money for a bang average player, but Ten Hag sees something. So wait and see if it'll happen. Prefer Salcedo, just as Tom was saying, on the same page there. Emma's asking what are piano legs. Like imagine a big ass Emma with short, stumpy legs. Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like a piano. Salcedo reminds you a bit of Paul Ince in his pomp. Says Stephanie. I want to talk about Salcedo as well as you, Mr. B. Big up to Go Paul as well. Big up to Emma. Bert personally says to King Dino, I think we look shambolic this summer. Our number one and number two priority should be strikers, and we messed up with Kim deal. We need a keeper. That's for sure. Bath time saying when you play in the centre, you want short little legs and a big ass, so you can turn to the side and you can get the ball. I call it piano leg. Big up, Casper saying, forgot about Parc de France. I'm on this. Sorry, I can't keep up with you. And here's our favourite referee from the USFA. It's Jeffy saying, Bath is notorious, not infamous. So that's true. King Dino saying, I like the Mount. He should fit for sixth priority on our list. Stephanie saying, around the world in 80 days, Casper, keep it up. Yeah, guys, try and keep up Casper. He's impossible to do that. My spring form is exceptional, said Bath time. I want to do something on it, especially your boys, Maguire, and the way he spins his arm like a windmill. We need more technical runners. Big up to Colin as well. He say, wrapped up by pre-season. Is this on my FM game? He's saying there. And big up finally to Man United Gen, who welcome him, Tom. Everyone welcome Tom, because Tom's a top guy. I did do a show with him a long time ago, and I want to say once again, RIP to Steve completely. We miss you, bro. Every so often, I was saying to Tom just a minute ago, I see him pop up somewhere on Twitter or somewhere, his face, and it just reminds me, I mean, to lose your life so young, and someone who was a fighter and a real tough Arsenal fan as well. Love Livs F1. So, Stephen Fleetley, we haven't forgotten about you, bro. You only die when people forget, and we will always represent for you on this channel. Mr. B.
Boy, that was deep, man. Caicedo, something just come out now. This is where the merry-go-round just keeps on going and going and going. According to the Guardian, I don't have the article up, but I can get it up if nobody believes me and thinks I'm just Thursday night waffling. To be fair, they're now saying that if we don't do the Mason Mount deal, we're going to try and do the Chelsea. We're going to try and hijack the Caicedo deal now. Obviously, we've just heard Tom singing his praises. He's a great player, but I just can't see how we can't do one deal and then we're going to bypass Chelsea and then jump into a deal halfway through to hijack that one. The moment it's the silly season. I just this part of the season I always look forward to, but I always hate it as well. You know, if we were always going to do deals early, then it'd be fine. But we're going to be doing shows for weeks and weeks and weeks. Oh, we're looking at this person, we're smelling this person's ass, we're spraying this person with deodorant. It's gonna go on and on. Just sign a bloody player, for God's sake. Oh wow. Big up Diggs, BTW07 on the Twitch. Oh God, it's gonna be one of those. It's gonna be a long season. Also, I was hearing, this is something that's has anybody heard the rumor about the Glazers? Well, not even the rumor, the story about the Glazers putting a block on transfers. Was I imagining that? Did I see that?
No, what I did hear. Sorry, Tom, if you're going to say something, but maybe no more than me. What I did hear on my route home from work is that there could be a block until the deal's gone through. So we might be holding back until the deal goes through, which suggests maybe the deal will go through because the window's open now, and we don't want to sort of waste time stalling. So I didn't think it was directly. I think sometimes the media can twist things, can't they? I don't think it was directly saying the Glazers saying, right, we're not giving you no money until it goes through. But I think it's a decision by the club to just wait and get the deal done, and then we can go for our proper deals. Because say, for example, Mr. B, the way things are now with our budget and everything as it stands, we've got a certain criteria of play that we can go for at the moment. But that list will increase. We can open up the emergency break glass. It's a showtime. that we can open up that window if things go through. So I suggest, as we know, we cover it every day. Things are happening every day, developments with the ownership. If it goes through, that could soon change. So I think hold back until we get this deal done rather than making transfers that we might change our mind on because of the different level of player that we might be going for with the more money that comes in with the new owner. I don't know what you think about that, Tom, but that's my...
No, I pretty much agree with everything that you said. The only thing that I look at it is, even if you get a new owner in, like, if it's not going to happen, but if you had a new owner come in tomorrow, I don't really see what there is a lot that they can do, apart from they're going to probably go for the players that the manager wants. But financially, the damage has already been done with what the Glazer family and the club's been doing over the last few years. And take, for example, Man United are on the amber list, as it stands for FFP. And I just look at something like that and I think, you can have, potentially Qatar come in and they'll make, want to make a big investment. And you could maybe say the same thing for Sir Jim. But I just look at either or of them and I think, even them coming in, I don't really think there is a lot that they can impact for this window, really, because I think a lot's already been set up and done. And even in a scenario that, God forbid the Glazers didn't sell, like, they're still going to have to buy players, are they not? And I mean, I think I don't really think there is this ban on transfers, because why bid for a player that, if Chelsea miraculously accepted one of those offers for Mason Mount, well, then you've got to buy the player then. If that's a player that you want. So where's the ban? If you had I could understand if there was a ban around not being able to buy players and we weren't bidding for anybody, but you're actively bidding for one player at least right now, and probably a few more through the window. So why are you bidding for players if there's this ban over you can buy players due to the ownership problems? The only thing I think anyway with it is that I don't think we're going to have the window that maybe we would have anticipated, having come back off of the season that we had, would won a trophy and top four and so forth. Because I do think we have really been underwhelmed for the start of this window anyway. And obviously we can't read into the future, but I mean, the takeover, look, it's a farce, let's be honest. I'm not going to come in here and paint anything, else. It is a farce. Timing, the whole process. And I think, to be honest with you, I think both of these parties, Sir Jim and the Qataris and Sheikh Yassim, I think they've got thick skin, really. They've lasted this long. I think a lot of people would have pulled out, maybe a couple of us on here. If you're in that situation and it's taken this long, like, I think these people would have wanted to have been in probably by now, really, if we're being honest.
Yeah, but Tom, it's been since November. I think this has been going on.
Yeah, November. Yeah.
I don't know how long ownership takeovers take, especially for a big club like that.
It normally,
that's 6 months in, 7 months. This has been going on for. How long does it take? I mean,
in a stretched out world, from what I know, anyway, with takeovers, it takes around 9 months in some cases. But in that
like
time scale, in that sort of with like the takeover, in terms of that, you already know who you're selling the club to along the way, essentially. So, like, maybe 5th, 6th month, you've picked somebody, or you have somebody there that you're going to sell to. And then the rest is you just negotiate, and then Premier League, UEFA pass the, tests and the different regulations, and then you hand over the keys to the new owner for whatever price. But like you say, with the Glazer family, they've not even decided who they want yet. And I think, this myth around that as soon as they pick, it's going to, go speedy, and you're going to be in an F1 car with Lewis Hamilton, and they're going to go, jetting off into the sunset. It's not going to happen. You already know with the Premier League that what's going to happen with Sir Jim, right? They're going to investigate his involvement with Nice and all that stuff. So that'll take some time. You do the same thing with Sheikh Yassim. The Premier League are going to investigate if he has links to PSG. Like, there is no quick fix to this. That's the problem. And even like I say, it's 9 months for a full takeover. Like, you already know who you're selling to right now. Everybody's in limbo. Nobody knows. That's the problem.
Just talking about, say, Salcedo thing, I do echo your thoughts about we missed out on getting him for cheap, under 10 million from Ecuador. That's disappointing. But I'm very impressed with him as a player. He's coming. Imagine being 21 years old, and even you, Tom, you're valuing him higher. You're complaining about 50 million, 60 million for Mason Mount, who's a proven international and proven Premiership player and played in Champions League final and everything else. But suddenly, this is how much most people rate Salcedo. You're saying 100 million, no problem, for a 21-year-old who's come in and been a beast out there. You're comparing it to Conte, who's sort of taken over. Who's Makelele? No one remembers Makelele anymore. So now we've got another bar-led black guy who's coming in and doing that job, and he's going to have a whole position named after. Yeah, that's how it seems right now. I'm very impressed with him, but I've still got slight question marks. One thing I do like about him is physically strong. I've seen him rough up players get on the way. So I bet he's made of rock. You know, one of them guys that he looks
Tough ones
normal.
that you bounce off.
Yeah, but as soon as you
Yeah,
try
yeah.
to hold, it's like bloody hell, it's like a brick wall. He's like one of them guys, just naturally strong. Used to eat sugar cane and cut sugar cane back in football. I don't know what he was doing, you know. But the guy, yeah, he's definitely got that strength about him, that natural raw strength, and that helps him a long way because talent-wise, he's okay. You know, what's exceptional about him is his strength and the man strength at 21 years old. You know, that's really impressive.
Oh God, I'm stuck for I'm struggling. I'm struggling to get excited about our transfer. I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna say it. I'm struggling to get excited about the transfer window because what's going to happen? We're going to sign Martin. We're not going to sign anybody else until we come back. until we're bloody playing in Dublin on whenever in 6 weeks' time. You know what I mean? This team, man, this club, you love them and you hate them at the same time, man. It just full of bastards.
While we're on the topic, I think there's a few comments here about the takeover because we're discussing that and Salcedo as well. So we've got Rebel saying at the moment, Mr. B, we haven't got a pot to piss in. The Glazers are burning us hard. We've got FD column saying, if we get Salcedo, all right, so I'll run down the street in my birthday suit. Does that mean naked? Does that mean naked? Okay.
Oh, jeez. I hope you live on an empty street. Jesus Christ.
Oh my gosh. Big up to Diggs, by the way, if you're watching for Twitch. We respect you, Diggs. How you doing? But after I'm saying, I'd much prefer to sort out our first line of pressure out of the press than pick up Salcedo after a good season. So that'd be Mount. He'd be probably the first line of pressure with the forwards. Emma's saying here, it wouldn't surprise me if they actually did that, talking about what you said, Mr. B, about the Glazers stopping cancelling transfers or whatever. Rebel saying, letting Iqbal go for Mills, an effing joke. Glazers ain't that smart on Monday. They just want the trials of money. Colin saying we're so waiting for the sale to go through, so I can expect our first signing in 5,789 when we're all long and gone. King Dio saying the problem with that is the Glazers don't care about transfer window, so they can block it and then not sell until August. Flex Felix in the house. Everyone give him a wave. He's saying, I think United are going to be spectators in this window. Bath Time saying, how much have Casemiro 70 million and Anthony 85 million effed up our transfer kitty from last summer? King Dino again, everything under the Glazers has been a fast. Flex Weeks again is saying we might have some money. We might have to spend some money for this window. We might have spent some of the money for the window last summer. Okay, yeah, responded to Bath Time there. Column said, I wouldn't be surprised if it's delayed because Sir Jim has offered them a cornetto each on top of the current offer and they're negotiating the flavour. Very good. Comment of the day so far. I like that, Column. Michael Hill's in the house. He's saying the Glazers won't spend now as it will come out of their profit from the sale. It's like agreeing a price for your house and then buying new windows unless the buyer agrees to cover the spend on top. That's a very good analogy. I like that one a lot. UK Strange in the house saying, talking rubbish. It's greed holding that deal. And Bath Time saying, no one remember Chris Marsden from Southampton, the only midfielder to consistently get the better of Keane. Okay, was he bald, Marsden? I can't remember him completely.
He must have been somebody in black and white. I know what you're like on Monday.
I can't remember him completely. Stephanie Griffiths is saying, City and Chelsea bend the rules on FFP. United and Glazers and the board, yes men, are more like FFFs, for fuck's sakes. Comments at top drawer today. There's no planning or structure to anything we do to end this 18-year nightmare. We want our United back. Is it 18 years? That's a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's bald. Yeah, I do remember him then. Yeah, Chris Marsden. I don't remember him getting a better Keane, but I believe in Bath Time. We all should.
Right, I've got one for you guys. I'm gonna have to spell his name because I can't say it. Apparently Ten Hag tried to hijack a deal for former Feyenoord star Erkan
Go on.
Koku. Does that sound about right?
The Turkish guy.
Yeah, well, if his name looks bloody Turkish. Obviously, I butchered it.
Former Feyenoord. Is he currently playing for Feyenoord?
Well, no, it said back in April, the People's Person indicated that the Red Devils sent scouts to watch him and Santiago Jimenez during a chaotic cup clash. Yeah.
For Feyenoord?
For Feyenoord, yeah.
He's a Dutch-born Turkish midfielder.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What position does it? What is he? So
Midfield.
is he a mount? Is he a mount clone again? Is he
deep line playmaker? He can bring the ball out the back. Oh, you know about him, Tom. I'll leave it to you then, because you're a guest.
Yeah. Like you've just said, to summarize, like basically box standard holding midfield, Turkish international. He's got, I think he has got a couple of caps and stuff like that. Born and bred through, the Netherlands and Feyenoord. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they just won the Eredivisie in terms of the Dutch league for this season as well, and a contribution towards that. And obviously there was that relationship. We bought Malacia from there in the summer, so there is that, I guess, relation there. And obviously, you have Eric Ten Hag, who he knows certain players from certain clubs and things like that. Like it happens, you build connections and there's links there. But the problem is, I think we have bought a lot of players from the Eredivisie already, really, that we've took a punt on. Some have paid off in maybe Martinez, and some maybe hit the ground at the beginning and then have faltered toward the ending, such as Anthony and Malacia. But like the situation, like you say, I don't really look at Ten Hag and think, whenever we've brought players in, I don't really think he's took a player that he's had a risk on, in terms of either he's worked with them or he knows the players beforehand. The only odd ones that I can think of is the likes of, say, a Casemiro and a Malacia, because he's never worked with those players before. Martinez he knew, Anthony he already knew. Ericsson was training, and rehabilitating from the incident that happened with Ajax. And this is why I think Mason Mount is a surprise to a lot of people, because I don't really think that he's the sort of player that a lot of us would have maybe said would have been a Ten Hag player. I think we could have come up with names before that, then we would have even gone towards a Mason Mount. But at the end of the day, like we've all agreed upon, the way that we are with the FFP at the moment and the takeover, like, you don't really know how much you have to spend. So that's why I think really Ten Hag's, if it is up to him, I think he's playing a bit of a gamble. But I also think he's been smart in terms of, because he doesn't know and he doesn't have a definitive answer, you buy somebody who's Premier League proven, so you've got past, I guess, that barrier, but you've also got somebody who has won things as well. I mean, let's not forget, Mason Mount is a Champions League winner. Love it or hate it, he was part of that Chelsea team. He put the pass through for Kai Havertz, and they won the Champions League. Some of our players haven't done that. So there is pros and cons, I guess. But with the guy that we've just said from Feyenoord, I mean,
Yes.
I don't really.
Before we go on, if he has Michael Hill, he has signed for Benfica for 40 million, and they've now inserted the 120 million pound. But why I was asking is he, because the first thing you both said is he's a deep lying playmaker.
Yeah.
Is Mason Mount a deep lying playmaker?
No.
Right. So this is why I'm wondering. This brings me on to the question now. If he's been looking for a deep lying midfielder, why is Mason Mount coming into our team?
Budget, probably.
I think Mason Mount's a perfect signing. I think, like, for all the positives we said about him, we know what he does. He works hard. He's good at pressing. He's got that energy. He's got that intelligence. He's proven as well. I'm just repeating what Tom was saying, all the positives there. I think we need a player in that position, because we're lacking goals, that's for sure, in the final third. And I think that's where he comes alive. Mason Mount is someone who will take a lot of strikes on goal. Not as many as Lampard used to, but he takes a lot of strikes on goal. He's a good runner. He's that third man run that will get into the box on the end of things. So Casemiro can sit back and not get 4 goals, 5 goals in the Prem like he did this season. I think Mason Mount will give you something extra. We've got Bruno who does a similar job, but we need runners, people to get into the box and finish their dinner. As you know, Mr. B, we struggle to score or our created chances and put them away. So I think Mason Mount is a perfect signing in that respect. And I know at the start, the first comment was from Eddie, was saying about we need a dribbler, we need a ball carrier. I disagree in that respect, because we need people running who are going to make the work and the effort to do the work off the ball to get in the box and score. And that's what Mason Mount will offer us. Just talking about Dutch players, we're just going about there. There's a guy called Xavi Simons. He's someone I followed some way back. He went to Barcelona, a little curly-haired boy. He's actually Dutch, was at Barcelona from a young age. And they have a tournament over in Northern Ireland every year for like under 10s or 13 thing. And he was playing with Celtic's Delembe. There's great footage from years ago on YouTube. And those two stood out. Delembe's gone downhill now. He's been sold to a French team from Celtic, not doing so well. But this Xavi Simons went to PSG, left Barcelona, went to PSG, played a couple of games but couldn't get inside, and now he's gone to PSG. PSV, sorry, he's at PSV. And if you want to check him out, go and see what he did against Arsenal this season. He was fantastic playing under Ruud van Nistelrooy. And he's a guy who's very extremely talented. He's starting to grow and become a man. And he's someone I've heard we've been linked to as well. But the problem is he's another Mason Mount position, Bruno position. He can play wide, but I think he's better down at central. But he's a very good talent, someone we should keep an eye on regarding Dutch football.
Okay. You know, as I said, when you lot start talking about I'm ignorant. I don't even watch international football, to be fair. I watch United. I don't watch anybody else. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's good or bad, to be fair. I hear you lot talking about, said a Monday with his. I don't know what sort of a memories Monday's got. He remembers games that were on before he was even born, for God's sake. So I don't know how that works.
We live in a YouTube age. We got access to every single game out there.
Yeah, but you remember stuff. It's what you remember. It's not the fact that you've watched it. It's the fact that you say, oh, in blah blah blah, and then you talk about the whole move. You're not talking about him smashing the ball. Oh, he was dribbled past by the left back who waited 4.5 seconds before delivering a perfectly weighted pass. I'm thinking, Monday's gone again.
So I'm good at remembering stuff, but I don't know about you guys out there if you're good at remembering stuff. I don't know about you, Tom, either. Because with the quiz, it's coming back. So if you think you can take on the quiz master, that's me, as Mr. B's endorsing me, bigging him up, saying I remember everything. But if you can think you take on me in my questions, 6 questions on your chosen club and 6 questions on general knowledge, football general knowledge, then take me on, guys. See if you can get 12 out of 12 and sit in the hot seat. A lot of people crumbled under my interrogation and questioning. So make sure if you're brave enough, step up and reach out to us, because we will start the show again very soon, the quiz show.
Also, just let me add a thing. Obviously, we don't need you to have your camera on. And this is where it opens it up to look, Tom, ideal Tom, no camera. The question will be asked, you won't have time to Google, and we're going to hear if Alexa's going off in the background. So look, you're more than welcome. You don't have to come on. You don't have to come on and show your face, as long as your microphone's working and you're willing to get the frying. Because on Monday, I know already. I know we had a couple of people who hit 11 last season. I'm predicting the most people are going to get is 5. I'm predicting the most people. As soon as somebody gets 0, I will then come on, because then I'll have somebody to draw with. So it's no problem.
Good one. Comments, because we had a lot to chat. Let's just go through a couple of these comments here. Good ones as well. I like one from Big T. He's saying, I want to see the days when we had 4 or 5 players flooding the box on attacks. Would that be under Fergie's time, when we used to sort of have numbers in the box? But yeah,
to a certain extent, he was trying it. It's just that because we sat so far back trying to protect David De Gea, half of the team couldn't get up there. But I think this season, once we start playing further up the pitch and they've got less to run, not the 50, 60 yards, to make it the 15 or the 20, I think there will be flood in the box this season.
Vincent's saying here, I think we're going in for Mason Mount just because he's English, and everyone thinks that time I got a new one Dutch. Vincent, you have struggled to read you. Big G saying, when Mount was on loan in the Dutch league, when he was 18 years old, he had an awesome stats for a midfielder. It was something like 18 assists and 10 goals. Mount owned the pitch when Ajax played against him. So there you go. He's had first-hand experience, our manager. Flex Felix saying Xavi Simons would probably go back to PSG because he's got a 6-year buyback clause. And that's true. Richard Herbert saying, big up, guys. Got your text, by the way, Richard. Just been busy. Said, just had an old Mount cider to welcome Mason Mount. Zoe Media House. Everyone give it a wave. So Mason Mount is the next one. Mata, great servant. Mata was past his peak when he arrived. Mount not worth more than 40 million. Wow. After I'm saying, I love how blown away Mr. B was by Monday having direct access to his own memory. 20 in the chat. Make sure you press the like, and that's from headquarters. That's Solo in headquarters right now, watching over us like Big Brother. Where are you, Solo? I know you're watching us, Swear Jar and all that. Stephanie's saying here, we need good old-fashioned box-to-box midfielders again, and can do it all and win a lot. Sorry, almost went into a United chant then. But perhaps flexible midfield 3 and flexible front 3 is the way forward. Laughing, and Mr. Solo is saying how we're joining Mr. B after I get 0 on the quiz. 2 more. Colin saying I will set 0 bar for you, Mr. B, in the quiz. Everyone get ready. And big up to Ramos. How you doing, Ramos? Is this Ramos from Benfica? Because
No, it's Ramo.
A Ramo. I like that name. Tough name. Okay. I thought you missed out the S. Ramo is saying Mount is SHIT. What's the point in giving Chelsea money for Salcedo when we need Salcedo?
Right. Can I just say, isn't that that is the most perfect, the most logical question that Ramos asked. We want Casado. We're going to give Chelsea money so that they can buy the player that we should be buying. How incredible is that?
That's a great comment. Tom, over to you. Help us out here.
I mean, to be honest, I don't even think they need to sell Mason Mount anymore, do they? They sold 4 players to Saudi Arabia. They've got 65 coming in for Kai Havertz. That's Caicedo money there.
I think the problem that they've got is it's the fees that they got for the players. Kante went on a free.
Yeah.
They got 6 million for.
I think they got 6 for. Was it Ziyech or Mendy? I can't remember which one.
I think they got 6. So they haven't made. They've got.
I think they got
wage
16
bill,
for Koulibaly or something. Yeah.
So they've got a lot off the wage bill, but they haven't got any money coming in. So I still think they do need to sell. To be fair, I think if we had the opportunity to wait, then maybe we could. But Chelsea will probably sell another couple of players for big money, and then all of a sudden Mount's then 80 now. You know what I mean? You've waited. You know, yesterday's price is not today's price. You know. Oh boy, I don't know. It's going to be a testing transfer window, to be fair. I can see it being a testing transfer window for us.
Tom, can I ask you 2 questions? One, who, with everything we've seen on the 2 owners bidding for the club, who would you prefer to go in for? And do you really think, when we do get new owners, that things are going to change, our fortunes will change, just based on the ownership? Or do you think it's more down to Ten Hag, his management?
I think to answer probably the second question first, I think the ownership has always been the problem. It's always straddled us back, and it's always, if you like, shackled us to debt. That is literally it. I think a debt-free Manchester United is just as bad as PIF owning, Newcastle. I think it's just as bad as Manchester City having the finances that they do, because commercially Manchester United can compete with state-owned football clubs. Man United don't necessarily, and I always use this phrase, they don't need a sugar daddy to compete. Unlike a Newcastle or City, who maybe haven't had that relevance in recent times and they have to build up. They have to build from somewhere. Man United's already been built up to be that, superpower club. So I look at that and I think anybody who was going to come in and just let the club's finances run as it should do, and listen, if we win major honours and you win a Champions League or something, if they want to take a bit of pride or a bit of finance out of the football club based upon that we've been winning things, I don't really have a problem with that, me personally. So long as you're consistently winning, both on the field and off in the transfer market, I don't really see why that's a problem. For me, from the start, when we had Sajim and we had Sheikh Yassim, both of them wanted to buy it outright. And something? At that point in time, I wasn't really bothered. I think the big point for me was, I want the Glazer family gone, completely. I don't want a single percentage. Because there's always going to be the theory of, even with 1%, can they influence it in some way? That's the thing and the theory that I think a lot of United fans will have. And I think 18 years is enough time to have, I guess, made a lot of people's minds up and opinions of the Glazer family, really. And I think by this point now, I think they would have sold it. Or if this was any other person, and these sort of figures were coming in around £5 billion or whatever, I think people had just sold up late ages ago. But it's the Glazer family at the end of the day. But based upon the offers that we have now, I think the Sheikh Yassim offer really it suffices everything that I want. And the only thing that I really wanted coming into it was the Glazer family gone, because I thought investments, Man United's commercials can pay for a new stadium or redevelop. It can buy the best players in the world when it's a properly sustainable football club
and run properly.
And run properly, yeah. That's the key point for me. And I think, look, as a club, I don't think we need, as I say, the sugar daddy money. We just need the expertise. We need the proper footballing director who can find the best players in the world.
Man City.
Like Man City. I mean, they planned and preempted for Pep Guardiola to go there 3-4 years in advance. They brought the guys in from Barcelona. They brought in Tixi. They brought in I can't remember the CEO guy as well. They brought in the guys who Pep had run the project with Barcelona with all those great players, and then Pep was the final piece.
Yeah.
Give him all the money in the world to go and build his team, and look at Man City now; they've just won the treble. And this is the point where I say with Man United, we don't necessarily need that, but that's the only thing that gives us the safety of the Glazer family wouldn't be in control. And I think when you show your card once to say that you'll stab the fans in the back in one case with Sir Jim, where 1 minute you claim to be a Man United fan. Well, if you're a Man United fan, you know how much the fans detest the Glazer family. You know how much you know how much if you're this fan. He brags about that he was at the '99 final. I've never seen a picture of you there, Sir Jim. I've never seen anything, mate. All I'm hearing is a load of rubbish. And the only thing I really know about Sir Jim is he tried to buy Chelsea and he's got a season ticket there. That's the only thing I know about Sir Jim Ratcliffe. So I think, above and beyond, I just think the Qatari offer, it suffices everything that I would want. And so long as they don't pull a madness like they've done at PSG, if they appointed proper people in the departments, because I don't think the team that's here right now is going to stick around, even with Sir Jim. I think Sir Jim would bring in his own people, but I just think a change of ownership, and then you set the standard from there, the structure, and you go from there. But like I said, I just think you set the precedent from the ownership. But for me, out of all the offers that's on the table, I think Sheikh Yassim is probably the best one that benefits the football club, and he's not stabbed anyone in the back to try and get the club. In my case, and if you talk about morals, I think that states a train of you can trust at least this person. We've never trusted the Glazers. From minute one now, there's that trust that might not be there with Sir Jim, and I'm sorry, I'm getting 2005 sort of vibes with Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Like he needs debt to buy the club. He can't buy all of it. He needs a long-term buyout, and there's Nice. It might have a legal battle to pursue with New York Stock Exchange. Like there's just so many problems with that, and the only thing that you can really throw at Sheikh Yassim is PSG. That's it. Like I just think that suffices. Why I think anyway, the Glazer family, they care about money. I think the Qataris can give them whatever price they'd want. Realistically, Sir Jim is strangled in terms of what he can offer. Really.
Sorry, I've just been so shocked by Big T's question, bruv. Or Miss Big T, could be Big Tish. I assume it's Big Tim or Big Tom. That's the. How the hell could you ask that question? Of course the Sheik's gonna keep him. Ten Hag's the best thing that's happened to our club since Fergie left. Come on now. Before we do wrap up though, before we do say goodbye, the goodbye from Zidane Iqbal. He's just said he sent out a little message that I really want to read out, to be fair. He's just said, emotions cannot be expressed in words. However, I will try my best. Manchester United has been my home for the last 5 years. No, sorry, since I was 5 years old. Along with my family, the club has developed me into the person I am today. From Cliff to Carrollton and then to the Theatre of Dreams, I have had many incredible memories of my 15 years associated with this amazing club. I've had the opportunity to play with so many teammates that I will always call friends, and coaches who I've worked with have supported me in different ways. He then went on to thank the kitmen, physios, security team, and many other members of the staff. He finished off by saying he will always be a United fan at heart, and that the time is right to go away and search for a new challenge. So that was his goodbye before our goodbye. What do you think?
Yeah, good luck to him. I'm really upset because I want to see talent come through. I felt, obviously, I'm not qualified to really sort of scout and judge, but he looked like a good little player, and he got an international cap, even though he didn't play a whole game last season. Even he was on the bench 17 times and didn't get any minutes, whereas Manu and those other guys did. I really would like to know why, because a lot of fans we talk to think he's talented. Just the manager just didn't want to play him for some reason. I want to say hi to Ebebe. He says, I want to mount Mace Mane. I want to mount Mate. Full stop. Anyway, sorry. Let me just properly. Sorry, no disrespect. But I want to mount Mane. You know the rest. You read it, guys. Anyway, big up, Bebe. Sorry, that made me laugh. And sorry, last one for me. Zoe Media House. She had talked about Angel Gomez, who another player that I really fancied. While you're talking about Zidane Iqbal, I put him in the same region where I felt he's going to be the future of the club, and didn't happen for him. He left, played Champions League quarterfinal. Chong left. He's been linked with Luton and returned to the Premier League because at Birmingham home. Zidane Iqbal left. Guaranteed he'll end up at Barca or someone big. What's wrong with this picture? I'll leave that one there. Just want to say hi to Jeff, by the way. Jeff, I haven't shouted you out, but enough respect to Jeff, our favourite referee from the US of A.
That's how we do it. Just before we go, Tom, where can we find you, big man?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at TomJournalist1 for anybody who wants to follow or get a bit of an insight into, say, journalism or sort of how it works in terms of sports and everything, because that's primarily where I'm based in terms of sports journalism and that sort of qualification and field. So yeah, you can find me on Twitter at TomJournalist1.
Right, on Monday, we know where we can find you.
I'm just finding Tom on Twitter right now to make sure I'm subscribed, because Tom, I've got him and I'm following him already. Tom, sorry, I've got you up. Guys, go and follow Tom. Real good chat. Really like listening to you, Tom. Top man, and hopefully we'll see you again on the show real soon.
Yeah. No worries, guys. No worries.
That's what I like to hear. So, guys, before we do go, don't forget you can come on with your blank screen. It's not a problem. On Monday is going to be back in the house. He's going to be burning your asses on the hot seat with the questions. Don't forget it's 6 on your own team, 6 on Manchester United. Can you get 12? Can you beat a Monday, guys? Tune in for the dates. We will get back to you, and we are out.